Backstory: my dad is a trucker, and I would regularly go with him on deliveries and stuff, going on long trips through the Australian bush. I'd seen my fair share of weird stuff. So one day me and my dad were driving down the road very late at night, like 10 or 11, and it seems almost out of nowhere there was a road train in a ditch on the side of the road. When we passed it, my dad looked back and stopped the truck. I got out with him and I went with him. When we got up to the truck, it was obvious that the truck had hit a tree. When my dad went up to the truck, no driver, but an absolutely destroyed truck. We figured nothing of it since there was no driver, and we started heading back to our truck, torch in hand. As we are walking up, my dad stops, paralyzed with fear almost. I asked him what's wrong, and then I see the guy had been ripped in half and thrown out of the truck, and all got the smell. I don't think there's quite a way to describe the smell of death, blood, and the hot smell of internal organs. We'd called the police and had to spend a night in the station. Me and my dad still talk about it, yo. I'm just going to start with how we found her. It was 4 a.m. and I couldn't sleep, so I got up to go to the bathroom and do what meant to, and I saw that the attic door was pulled down and the downstairs light was on. I stayed in my room, and the second I heard the attic door close, I opened the door to find no one there. I checked my brother's room and my parents' room, and everyone was sleeping in their beds. I woke my dad up and told him what was going on. My dad grabbed his pistol and my mom called the police while I had to get my brother up. Cops came quietly in, and my dad went up into the attic. They came down with a dirty, old, crazy-looking lady who had chocolate all over her face. We checked the attic and found stowed behind a bunch of pinball foam one of our sleeping bags, a dirty bucket that she would clearly piss and shit in, a small flashlight, a bottle of Febreze, a small kitchen knife, and a bunch of water bottles, soda cans, and protein bars. She said she lived up there for a few months. We moved all of our stuff up there in September, so the longest she's lived here is 3 months, and she said she got in because someone left the patio door open while we were walking our dogs. We live in a townhouse and the patio is on the 2nd story, so that means she has since creeped into my house, so I don't know if she actually got in through the patio or not. She said the knife was for self-defense in case she got caught, but I'm not buying it. Besides the occasional footsteps that we assumed were just house noises, and a light would be left on when we woke up every so often, we had no idea. But today I realized something. Me and my dad went up there at the end of November to get Christmas stuff, and all of our Christmas stuff was on the other side of the attic from her nest, meaning she was probably up there when we were moving stuff, and if she had the knife she could have easily killed us. Creepy to think about. Okay, so I have no idea if I'm overreacting or not, but here's some backstory. I'm 18F and I have pretty severe autism. I've considered that this could be the reason I find it creepy. I just started college, British, and I met a girl in the 3rd week also in my class. She's got similar interests as me and just followed me all around college, even leaving class to go to the toilet and print stuff when I go, even with nothing to actually print. She comes in earlier than she has to on Thursday do, and I quote spent time with my boo. She was easing up recently, but then BTS announced the tour. She told me that I had to go, and I explained that I was broke and I can't get money to go to London. Not that I would anyway. I have trust issues and definitely don't trust her, less after the last few weeks' events. She offered to pay for me, and I told her that I would not be allowed, and I don't want to go to London with someone I've known for such a little time, but maybe if my BF can help me money-wise I'll go with him, his mom and his sister. I'll pay him back obviously. She then proceeded to look me dead in the eye and says, I am taking you to this concert. If it's the last thing I do, I'll fucking kidnap you. This sent chills down my spine, and I tried to ignore her. Since then she has bought a house in my area to live closer to my girl so I can sleep over all the time. She has also found my address. Luckily she can't afford to get transport to my house as her BF is buying the house and she is broke. She has now decided to walk me almost all the way to my bus at the end of every day and will pull my headphones off in the morning to talk to me. She will also move herself to sit right next to me, way too close to me. She will be almost on top of me. She is not allowed to sit by me and gets told at every lesson. That is not the only time she has threatened to kidnap me either. She said she was gonna smuggle me to ice hockey before, and said that she was gonna kidnap me and take me to Ireland with her when she went for a holiday. Am I being overdramatic, or is this actually creepy behavior? I once had a really horrible night where I was terrified out of my mind. I have a really small house where the living room and the kitchen were connected. There would be a bathroom in the hallway. My older and little sister's room were just across from each other, and my mom and dad's room were across from mine. My room is in the top right of the house. One night I got grounded because my little sister cried in my room and she lied about me hitting her, even though I remember she was jumping on the bottom bunk of my bed. She jumped and hit her head on the edge on my top bunk. My parents told me I had to keep the door open when I go to sleep, which was kind of a dumb punishment now that I am 13, but it was terrifying before to me because I wasn't scared of the dark. I was scared of what was in the dark. It was 12:47 and I couldn't go to sleep, so I tried to use my phone to relax, and when I was using it I hear some rustling on top of my bed, and so I turn off my phone and I realize that there was no one sleeping on the top of my bed. I'm terrified about this and I start panicking. I'm trying to think of going to the bathroom and locking myself in there, but I thought the person or demon on top of my bed was going to jump out of me, so I stayed quiet. Then I heard a crack on the wooden floor outside my door, and I was terrified to look to the other side of my bed, but I gathered up courage and I turned around to see a man about as tall as the doorway, probably 6 or 7 feet high. And I can see 2 little reflections in his eyes. I start to hear the footsteps come up, so me, and his hand is reaching out to grab me, and so I put my blanket over my head to protect myself. I heard his breathing. It was soft and clear. I was in this position for what it felt like centuries. I couldn't shake the feeling of he getting ready to stab me or something. I couldn't stay in that position forever, and after a long time of waiting, I woke up and I got confused because I was wide awake when all this stuff happened. I thought I probably fell asleep after a long time of waiting. I swear I heard rustling on top of my bed. I get up and look on top to see folded blankets and some pillows up there, but I knew no one was up there. From then on I kept my door locked, and I would be sure to have a weapon on me at all times.